Okay friends, to get started on the blower motor, let's go ahead and get underneath the passenger side of the dash. You're gonna find a nice panel under here. That's a protective panel. You can just go ahead and grab right onto this and we're gonna give it a little tug to pull it down. Remove that from the vehicle. Once you have that panel off, let's continue on along this area here. I wanna use a nice plastic trim tool. I'm just gonna carefully get in behind this area. Gently pop this away a little bit. There we are. That's far enough. Now we're just gonna go ahead and take this panel off. You're gonna find a little plastic nut right there. Go ahead and turn that counterclockwise and fully remove it. Grab onto this panel. Remove it from the vehicle. Now we're gonna start removing some Phillips head screws. There's going to be 3 more Phillips head screws up in here. Grab onto this, we're going to give it a little wiggle. Now you don't want to disconnect this right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and get in between this area and pop this up and away. Remove the glove box. Next we're going to remove the Phillips head screw right there and right there. Now we can move this a little bit, and now we can get our blower motor out from underneath. Now under here, you're gonna have a couple wires. This one right here could potentially be in the way, but generally you can just kind of move it out of the way, and then you can slip the blower motor down. But what we do need to disconnect is this one right here. To do that, I'm just gonna carefully get in between this hole right there, press it in, pull this down, inspect it. Now if you take a look under here, you're gonna find 3 T20 bolts that hold this up. So let's just go ahead and remove them all. There's one all the way up in the front here, closest to us. There's that one. Second one, the last one's over here on the passenger side. This is going to be the last one holding up the blower motor. I'm just going to hold that up by hand. Let's carefully start pulling this down and remove it from the vehicle. Let's just take a quick comparison of the new one in comparison to the old one. We have the connector port, it's in the same area. We also have all the bolts in the same area. This looks perfect. Let's get ready for our install. Let's get our 3 bolts in hand and ready. Grab the blower motor, start getting it into position. This is going to be the main area that you're going to try to line up. After that, everything else should be pretty much lined up perfectly. Is. Just twist it around a little bit. You should feel it set right in. Just going to start all these in. Once they're all started, we can snug them up. Just double check, make sure they're all tight. If they're not tight, you could hear a whistling noise or even a rattling noise from under here. Connect in your electrical connector. Listen for a click, give it a tug. Now let's go ahead and put in the bolts for this. Get this lined up. We'll start in both before we snug them up. Give it a wiggle, make sure it's nice and tight. Now it's time for the glove box assembly here. Let's go ahead and latch this back into where it belongs. Now we're just going to take this and we're going to slide it behind this panel right here on the side. Line up those clips. Now we'll just slide it in. There we are. Grab your mounting bolts along the top there. We'll start all 3 of those in and then we'll snug those up. Get that started. Now that they're started, snug them up. Latch this into place. Close that. Put in your lower bolts. Now we can get this corner panel in. We've got this little push clip right there. So what we're going to do is essentially just put it so this hole lines up with its stud on the back side there. Slide it right in. Now we're going to line up that little piton that I showed you with this hole right here. Once it's lined up, give it a little bonk. Put on your plastic nut. Generally with these, you can just go ahead and press it right on. There we are. Let's go ahead and start lining everything up for this. There it is. It should latch right in. Now we're going to put in our lower panel. You have your little piton. That's going to slide in right on the back over here. Line that up first. Bring this straight up and into position. Along this side over here, you can see that it has a slot in the kick panel. You want to have this panel line right up with that and slide in as well. Then we'll just bring it up and latch it in. Make sure your glove box works properly. After that, go ahead and put the key in the on position and test your blower motor. Make sure it works on all speeds.